We are here with Mr. Aeneas Wlider for Racin, Ramdam Center International News. You are an artist, and you come from Scotland. That's
From Scotland, yes.
where exactly?
From Edinburgh.
And we have the opportunity to admire your exhibition, title Origin.
Yes.
Why that title?
Well, as I was explaining earlier to some of the people here, the exhibition has two elements to it. There's the beginning of life and there's the end of life. So Origin is a good title because the principal structure that I've made has
well, in fact, in the middle of the castle, we have the opportunity to see a marvelous high sphere, white sphere. What does it represent exactly?
Well, the sphere for me represents the self, the human self, not your identity or your ego or so, but just like you as a being. How do you symbolize a person? You would draw a stick man, but how do you symbolize the self? Not the physical self, but the kind of.
You compare that with an egg.
Yeah, well, the sphere, the courtyard and the chateau and the galleries at the side do have a sort of abstract. They are abstractly representing the female reproductive organs, the fallopian tubes and the ovaries and the womb and so on. So this sphere in the centre then would symbolise a female egg. Sitting in the womb. So from that respect, from that point of view, the title of the exhibition, Origin, is kind of fitting, and the origin, what is your origin? When do you become conscious, or where do you originate from? I'm not talking about which country you come from, or who your parents were or so, but you as an individual self, where did you come from? What was your origin?
On a technical point of view, some details. It's a wooden creation.
Yeah, it's a large wooden structure made from stacked and fixed wooden beams, about 600 and something beams in there. So I work on a large scale a lot of the time, and if I'm making outdoor structures, I would choose to use wood.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and when there is sun, there is a game of shadows.
Yes, that's right. It's very beautiful in the sunlight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And behind the castle, we can see a column.
Yeah. And
above it, a chair. What does it mean? The title of that creation?
Well, the title's high chair because it's a chair that's high up. But like a high chair, children sit in a high chair, but obviously this chair is a little bit higher than a child would be sitting at if they were sitting in a high chair at the dinner table. It has a lot of significance and a lot of meanings, and they're kind of, it's kind of multi-layered work. It's very simple. It's just a tower, very high tower, 12 meters with a chair on the top. But it does reference a lot of things. It references the battle that is commemorated here in the gardens with the column at the far end, and also it's a kind of companion piece to the large sphere. If the large sphere symbolises a female egg in the womb, then the long thin column with the seat at the top you could say symbolises the male sperm. So it has that kind of reference, but also it has this positioning high up, so it's kind of precarious and makes you might want to climb up and sit on that chair, but then if you get up there and you sit on the chair, you might realise that was a bad idea, and you'd prefer not to have done the thing that you did before.
Yeah, that chair is unreachable.
It's a kind of unattainable also, this idea that there are things that you want to attain and you hope to attain, but they're not necessarily attainable. So this chair is so high up you can't actually sit in it. It'd be very difficult for you to attain the desired result of sitting on that chair. So. Yeah.
And then you are influenced by Japan culture. You lived in Japan, perhaps?
Yeah, I've been. Well, I live in Japan. You could say part of the year, but that's part of every year for about the last 18 years. I've been consciously trying to avoid having a Japanese influence in my work. But for this exhibition, there are a lot of clear references to Japan. The cubic units, the formal design and structure of the cubic units is a very Japanese style of construction. In the units there will be tatami mats, and there will be 5 objects from people that I've known who have passed away. 2 people from the Netherlands, 1 person from Scotland, and 2 people from Japan. But each of these 5 objects came from my house in Japan. They were objects that were given to me.
I can say that you have a Japanese culture in your skin. You have the look of a samurai with a hair cord.
I know, but I haven't been to. You maybe can tell I haven't been to a hairdresser for 30 years. But before I went to Japan, nobody ever said, "Oh, you look Japanese." But then now that I've been to Japan, everyone says, "Oh, you look Japanese. You have a Japanese hairstyle." But it's just genetic. It's how it is. I tie it up. I don't cut my hair.
Why did you choose to work here for the Castle of Senef? In Scotland, you have marvelous castles. For instance, Dunrobin Castle and so on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they do kind of annual contemporary art projects. The reason I chose to, I was invited to work here. You know, it was not like I didn't choose the chateau. The chateau chose me, sort of thing.
But you were not forced, huh? You were
No, I wasn't forced, no. But I was invited. I was given the opportunity to come and work here, and it's a great space, but it's a very difficult space. It's not so easy to put on a show here, you know, because you have the sort of formidable architecture of the chateau, and then these sort of large, well kept and well designed gardens, and then there's big trees and there's wide open spaces and so on. So it was a kind of challenge really to see if I could present a substantial body of work that rested well within these grounds.
Yeah. You are very lucky. You live in the country of Mary Stuart country, Scotland.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, but
on a cultural point of view, it's marvelous, Scotland.
Yeah, well, yeah, people.
It's better in Belgium.
The beer's better.
But Scottish beer is not bad.
Scottish beer's not too bad, yeah, but
whiskey is better. Okay.
Maybe the whiskey's better in Scotland. I think the beer's better in Belgium. Yeah, well, I spend time in Scotland, but I'm not really interested in presenting work that deals with culture as such. You know, I mean, there are clear references to Japan in this exhibition, but I'm not interested in entering into a dialogue with a particular culture. You know, I'm more interested in kind of more metaphysical ideas, and how do I present them in a formal way by combining materials and designs or so on and so forth. You know, so for me, it's not so important that I emphasize anything about my Scottish heritage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know that in October there will be a regular air link between Edinburgh and the airport of Charleroi. You're lucky. You will come often in Senef. Yeah,
well, I would love to come back. I'm going to come back later on this year with my family, and we'll see the exhibition properly, because I haven't really got to enjoy the exhibition so much. I've been working in preparation. You never get to see your own work, you know. And I'm leaving on Sunday, so I will be coming back.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.